lips, they tasted like those cigarettes. Staring at the moon, we'd go to bed. In my arms, you're safe and sound, without a threat. And I can't wait to see what happens next. How far can we get if we sail a little bit high, a little bit low? How far can we get if we sail a little bit high, a little bit low? We're still a little bit young, but I'm all in. We're still a little bit dumb, but I'm all in. We're still a little bit young, but I'm all in. We're still a little bit dumb, but I'm all in. Our lips, they tasted like those cigarettes. Staring at the moon, we'd go to bed. In my arms, you're safe and sound, without a threat. And I can't wait to see what happens next. How far can we get if we sail a little bit high, a little bit low? How far can we get if we sail a little bit high, a little bit low? We're still a little bit young, but I'm all in. We're still a little bit dumb, but I'm all in. We're still a little bit young, but I'm all in. We're still a little bit dumb, but I'm all in. If we sail a little bit high, a little bit low, I need us to be a little bit high, a little bit low, completely alone.
All right, I think we are ready to go here tonight. Let me boot up the stream here once again. We are going into Great Britain here at Silverstone for round 9 of Season 3, Tier 2. I can't imagine we'll see any lack of action tonight. Absolutely classic track, tons of overtaking opportunity, and of course multiple race lines essentially throughout the entirety of the track. So this should be interesting. It does look a little foggy out, so I'm not quite sure what the weather forecast looks like, so that's something to keep an eye on. Certainly wouldn't be out of the ordinary to see a rain or a rainy session here tonight. But while we wait for our brave soldiers here to get on track first, I will go ahead and, as per always, go over the current standings, which have actually shifted a little bit from last week, if I recall correctly. So first and foremost here, we will go over our driver standings. Born Ready does retain the lead despite having I believe he finished maybe P4 last week, so not a bad performance. Certainly not the P1s that he's been used to here early in the season, but he does retain the lead at 125. Clapjack close behind at 112, so only 13 points behind. It's actually really starting to narrow down here for the Drivers' Championship. P3 Jazbo holds that spot at 101, also still in the fight at the top 3. Beyond that, we do have a little bit of a drop-off. Straggly Rex holding 67 points in P4. Peak Hour with 53, it looks like, in P5. And then Johnny Damon, who is kind of the unknown variable here. Having won the last couple races here, he's driven starting mid-season, has launched himself already into, looks to be P6. So he's going to make moves here and can absolutely move up once again if he has another great session here tonight. Looking quickly here at the driver standings, Alpine does hold in first, which is the team of, I believe it's Captain Clapjack and Sammy Cush. Combined are at 148 points here, so they have taken the lead for the past couple weeks now. Red Bull in P2, I believe that's Jazbo and LK, a 131, not too far behind there. And then the Alfa Romeo, or the Kick Saubers, I should say, are now finding themselves in P3, and that is the team of Born Ready, and I believe, I don't know why it's slipping my mind here who else is on the Alpha team, unless it's just Born Ready. Actually, that would make sense. Okay, that's why I wasn't remembering that. So Born Ready carrying the team essentially with the Alfa Romeos, the Kick Saubers, and they are now in third after holding a first place constructors for most of the earlier season. I won't make the same mistake I did last week by keeping up those standings throughout the qualifying session. In fact, we will go ahead and start checking out some onboards here early. As per always, I'll go ahead and check on Elon Rogan. And actually, he's not in the session tonight, so Elon Rogan will not be the first one out on track, per usual. Looks like he could not make it. So we're going to have to go ahead and take a look here at who actually is going to be our first flyer today. Let me get up the lap data here. Whoops. There we go. So looks like it's actually going to be Matthew here coming around from his out lap. He's going to be starting up the first... Oh, no, excuse me. This is his hot lap. My apologies. I was looking at the map wrong there. So Matthew will be the first one to get a hot lap in. Looks like he's committed to the lap. He's going through Maggots and Beckett's here. Of course, one of the most classic sequence of corners in all of the F1 calendar. Incredibly high-speed track. Very wide track, too. So as I mentioned earlier, we're probably going to be seeing a good amount of overtaking. Looks like we do have a yellow, but I'd imagine that's just one of the Red Bulls getting out of the way for the other drivers. Take a quick look here at Matthew's onboard as he comes across the line. Just finishes up with a 129. Battery is all but depleted. Osmanian Devil goes a 129.5, not too far behind. Matthew goes a 129.6. Peak Hour goes across 128.7. Agog with a 128.09. So times are flying across here. A lot of traffic. Looks like they might be starting their hot lap. So, Tasmanian Devil actually might be... Is he going on another hot lap, or he might just have kept that battery on? He might be going out for another round here. He is on the medium tire. This might just be getting warmed up, getting a little loose here, and looks like he's ripping another hot lap. Either that or he is well on his way into the pit lane here. Jazzbo appears to be on his first flyer of the day. We'll keep an eye on Jazzbo, and I'm curious if Damon is out as well. Looks like he is. So we'll keep an eye on the two of these. We know they're most likely going to find themselves on the first couple rows of the grid. I'd be surprised if we didn't. Jazzbo is going to be the first across, coming through Copes here. Pretty low on battery early here. I'd imagine he's going to probably recharge that battery a little bit here through Maggots and Beckett's. Maybe just a hair. But he'll have just enough, I'd imagine, to get through the final straight here. A lot of traffic in his way coming up. Might get a little bit of a benefit there from the drafts. So far the lap looks pretty good. Keeps it within track limits there. And then I'd imagine down to about third gear. He's going to be looking to get some good traction on this final corner. You can find a lot of time here. Looks clean from our view. And a 128.4, which puts him up into P4 tentatively. Johnny Damon, on the other hand, coming around at about 20% battery left for this final corner. And he's going to go ahead and put up the 127.6. So excellent first lap of the day. Not sure what the weather is calling for. Like I said, it's a little. It looks like it could be a little rainy out maybe in 5-10 minutes here. Certainly cloudy. So I'm not sure if these drivers are trying to get out and get times up on the board early, expecting rain. But we will soon find out. Straggly Rex comes around the final corner there with a 129.1. Leaving us just two drivers still in the pits. Looks like they have not gone out yet, which is Optimus Tea Time and Six Char. LK might be on a hot lap here. Maybe not. Definitely has his hot lap on his ERS setting here. Take a look to see if he's going to go ahead and knock out another hot lap here. Probably looking to get up in the 128s, maybe even in the low 128s. Very tight grid, though, for a pretty long track. I mean, 128 certainly is pretty long for F1 standards. Very, very, very tight, essentially from P2 all the way down to about P10. So, tentatively here, let's see what LK can put up. So, 129.0, he drops almost a full second there, moves him up to P11. Looks like Clapjack might be on another flyer here, so we'll keep an eye on his onboard. Clapjack finds himself in P10 at a 128.8. Now, for Clapjack standards, I'd imagine he's going to be looking to move up significantly here on this hot lap. Another corner here. This is another one you can find a lot of time in if you get the launch right. It looks pretty good from our point of view. So far, a pretty solid lap. Clapjack and Sammy Cush, as mentioned earlier, are actually leading the overall constructors, so I'm sure they're going to be looking to collectively get some more points tonight and maybe extend that lead out even further. Carrying tons of speed through Maggots and Beckett's there. Through Sector 3, I didn't catch if he had actually dropped any time, but it certainly looks good. Keeping it pretty tidy there. Looks like this is going to be an improvement by quite a bit, actually. So Clapjack now 128.1 puts him in P4, much closer to what we have expected out of Clapjack, given his season thus far. Already appears to also be on another flyer, another favorite for this track, I'd imagine. tentatively here, I'd imagine Johnny Damon, Born Ready, Clapjack, and Jazbo are probably going to be the guys out front. Now, Jazbo is now P9. He's going out on another out lap, looking to knock out another lap here. A couple more yellow flags are present. Looks like just some guys getting out of the way there. Born Ready is the second driver now to break into the 127, so he now finds himself on the front row of the grid and not far off of Johnny Damon. Johnny Damon still feeling comfortable, I'd imagine. 3/10 above the rest of the field. A lot of wiggle room there. I'm sure he'll be coming out for at least one more lap to look for some more improvement there, but very comfortable lead for the time being. Clapjack heads back into the pits. And then Osmanian Devil, who is a new driver on the grid for Tier 2. Looking solid so far at 128.2. He might be coming around charging up his battery. I'm not sure if he just finished a hot lap or he might be getting ready to start another here. His battery is drained. But still not too bad, looking at a P7 starting position so far. Getting into the points early there. Straggly Rex looks like they're on their out lap, or maybe not. Maybe they're actually going around on their in lap. I did not catch that either. Otherwise, everyone appears to be either in the pits or just getting ready for their next hot lap. I'm sorry guys, real quick, I'm going to check. I feel like the audio is really quiet today. I can barely hear it. It's already at 6. We'll keep it at 7. I just don't want it to drown out any of the other audio either. So Late Bloomer warming up the tires here. Already sitting in a P5 position. Certainly not a bad place to be. Osmanian is in fact starting another hot lap here. He's going to go ahead and let the overtake mode rip for the first sector here. Drains down to about 67. Certainly enough to get him through the lap. Important to get that extra few miles an hour there on the straights. A little bit of a lockup there into turn 2. But he's looking pretty good here in the Racing Bull. So he is now the new teammate of Don Duch. Not quite sure where they stand on overall teams here, I believe. The Racing Bulls are actually in 9th. So they're at 45 points, but I think with the addition of Osmanian, definitely have some good opportunity here to move up the order above the McLaren. That's only about 10 points ahead, and the Astons are 20. Plenty of races left in the season. I believe we're looking at 18 overall weeks, and today being the 9th round, we're only halfway through, so plenty of time to see some more movement in the final standings here. So Osmanian find himself in Sector 3. Looks to be a pretty neat lap so far. Again, this final corner is so crucial to get a good launch out of. A little slow out of that final corner, but the rest of the lap looked good. We'll see what he's going to put up here. He does indeed drop a little bit of time, about 1/10 of a second. So he's now up to P5, which again just kind of goes to show how close it is here at the top. Late Bloomer crosses 2/10 faster than that last lap of his. Now he is also in the 127 bracket here. He is now second row of the grid in P3. Don Duch is coming around. Battery is a little bit drained here, but he's only got a couple more corners to go. He's looking to improve from that 128.4 spot, although it looks like, yep, indeed he did. About 2/10 he improves. He moves up right behind Osmanian into P7, so the teammates separated by only 0.03 of a second there. And the Racing Bulls are looking pretty good so far. Peak Hours just beginning their hot lap here, as is AK. Like 6char might be the next one that's going to be crossing the grid, other than... No, Late Bloomer's not going to be putting up a hot lap there. So Sixchar now down 2 seconds from his previous time. That was a 1:31.7. If he can find some time here in Sector 3, he'll be placing himself in the 128s. Loses a little bit of the car there, but keeps it together. A little bit of a lockup. Still been keeping the car on track. A little wider on the last corner, but he's flying 129.1. That brings him down 2.5 seconds. Sixchar now 129.1, although he's still in P15, so there is a time improvement, but not much of an improvement on track. AK finalizing his time here. So this might be a slight improvement, and it is 128.57, another 2/10 down, but it puts him into P11, so we have an absolute ton of 128s right now. Actually, this might be one of the closer grids that we've seen this season. Sammy Cush crosses the line. Looks like they might be going around another time for another hot lap, it would appear. Would also appear that AK is going to be putting up another hot lap as well. Meanwhile, tentative pole position, Johnny Damon is on his out lap, as is Agog, Jazbo, and Osmanian, so we'll hop over their onboards here shortly and see what they can put up. A little bit of a slide through Meggetts and Beckett's here, but he's going to keep it close. And he's actually going to go ahead and bail out of that lap, so not going to be posting additional time. I'm not sure what the session timer is at. He might have time to throw on a new set of softs and get back out there. I'm not entirely sure. Don Duge gets out of the way. And as I mentioned before, we've got a train of about, 4 of the top 6 drivers here are out and ready to go for another hot lap. Johnny Damon really likes sitting in 4th gear, it looks like. Not quite sure the strategy there, but gearbox damage is turned off, thank goodness. Johnny Damon will be starting his hot lap, so let's take a look and see if he can improve from that very fast 127.6. He does lose the car a little bit around the last corner. It shouldn't affect the time too much. He seemed to get a good launch anyway. Damon with the front lock up there, but nothing too serious. Car is certainly seems to be green with him through these corners. He's keeping it very clean. Looks like one of the Alpines just getting out of the way there. Loses a little bit again. He's certainly pushing hard. I mean, it's going to be tough to beat that 127.6. Loses the car a little bit once again. So we'll see if he's in line to improve here. And in fact, the timer is up. So didn't have the session timer up earlier, but Born Ready will end the session with a 127.9. Lee Bloomer with a 127.96. Very close in P3. Real quick, we'll take a look. Hey guys, this looks like he's going to be wrapping up. Jazbo is also on his fire. We'll take a look at that. Mike Gaudio with a 127.2. So that is well out ahead in P1. I didn't even catch him hit that lap. Johnny Damon, on the other hand, is actually a tad slower than his initial lap. So he's now pacing for 127 high, and there you have it. He just lost the rear there on the last couple corners. So he will be starting P2. Clapjack, P5, 128.06. Osmanian finishes the 127.07. 128.07, excuse me. Jazbo with the 128.05, a very, very slight improvement, but that does move him up to P5. That just, again, goes to show just how close this grid is. P3 all the way to about P10 is within 0.2 of a second, so very, very close. Mike Gaudio, though, in the Aston Martin, I was not on his onboard there, but he absolutely dominated that lap. It's going to put him in pole position by just under half a second. So excellent lap from the Aston Martin there. And that should be a wrap. I think everyone else is finalized here. So we've seen time and time again, the crucial element for this start is going to be for these drivers to remain within that DRS range until the DRS is active. We know just how incredibly powerful that DRS is in F1 2024. And in such a high-speed corner or high-speed track with a couple very long straights, it's going to be really important for these guys to maintain that 1 second differential around the first couple laps. Johnny Damon, though, 0.38 down from the P1 position. Originally, I'd expect to have potentially taken pole there, but Mike comes in and takes it by quite a margin. Real quick, sorry guys, I gotta switch over to our chat. Just want to make sure no one has gotten disconnected. Fingers crossed in that regard. Who's Mike, man? I've seen Mike in the server. I didn't know he would be joining the Tier 2 grid, but certainly looks quick compared to these drivers. So we'll have to keep an eye on him for the remainder of the race just to see if that qualifying pace will translate to his overall race pace here tonight. There's a petition starting to send him up to Tier 1. Certainly not the most insulting thing you could tell somebody. Unless I'm losing my mind here, I don't think Mike had driven in Tier 2 before. It looks like he's not listed as a driver. Otherwise, I would imagine by round 9 I would have remembered his name. So yeah, he is new to Tier 2, it would appear. Johnny Damon, we do know, is quick. He has raced very well the past 2 weekends, not only taking home the race win, but also taking home the fastest lap, maxing out his points, 52 points in 2 weeks. Couldn't ask for any more than that. So as per usual, we will go ahead and let the drivers get their setups arranged and their race strategy. It does look like it's going to be a clear day out. There's a little bit of cloud cover, but very minimal. So if there is any sort of weather intervention here, it's not going to be till much later in the race. Certainly nothing on the horizon. In terms of the competition, it's really going to boil down to will Johnny Damon continue his streak? Will he continue moving up the order? Will he beat the current leaders we have, Born Ready, Clapjack, and Jazzbo? And then Born Ready, can he maintain that lead over his counterparts of Clapjack and Jazzbo? Again, that lead now cut down to just 13 points. Very, very close championship. Again, only halfway through the season. Plenty of room for improvement from any of these drivers. And now we also have 2 more drivers out of the grid, both showing tremendous pace. So lobby host LK has made it clear if there are any bugs or any desync, we are going to restart the lobby. I do agree with that. Assuming that we have issues early, it would be a little disappointing to have to restart here for a good portion of the way through the race. But it looks like we are going to get underway here any moment. And just before we start here, just to take a look, everybody but Optimus Tea Time will be electing to start on the soft tires. So with that being said, it wouldn't surprise me if either A, these guys are going to be planning for a 2-pit strategy. I wouldn't imagine, but potentially, I guess I'm not quite sure of the tire degradation in F124. Or they're going to be going on the hards here after the initial stint. We are off. 5 lights are off here, and the race has started. Mike Gaudio pulls away nicely. Now, with that being said, Born Ready does go side by side with Johnny Damon. A little bit of dirt getting kicked up there. Someone lost quite a bit of time. I didn't quite see what happened there. We have some damage, quite a bit actually. A few end plates there. Making their way off track. A Williams, looks like late bloomer, is already out of the race. The contact looked pretty minimal there, so I'm not quite sure what happened. We'll take a look at the replay. Optimus Tea Time served a 10-second penalty with a collision against Tiger Wood. And Tiger Wood now also missing his entire front wing, so he's going to be headed straight back into the pits. We do have a virtual safety car, which is actually quite surprising. No, there we go. We do have a full safety car because we had a car parked directly on the racing line there. And Optimus Tea Time is hit with another penalty for ignoring the yellow flag. A little excited out of the gate there, I'd imagine. So, while we make our way back around track, we'll take a quick look at not only the replay, we'll take a look at any position changes. So it's Clapjack that falls back 1 place down to P7. Agog, Osmanian both up 2 places into P5 and P6. Jazzo up 1 into P4. It's AK3000 that is down now 5 places into the P16 position, right next to his teammate in P17. Mike Gaudio with a 10-second penalty. I can't help but wonder why he'd be pitting unless he took damage. From what I could see there, he didn't take any damage, so he's just going to go on the hards and send the whole race on these, I guess. A little surprised on that call, because he's going to give up a ton of track position here, falling down 11 spots. Potentially more here, but it looks like everyone else behind him will also be pitting. Mike Gaudio now, 10-second penalty, though. That's going to really hurt him, speeding in the pit lane under safety car. Moves Johnny Damon into P1. Born Ready into P2 and Jasbo into P3. Really interesting stuff there. I actually am not quite sure that's the right call to run hard tires here for 24 laps around Silverstone, but certainly will be interesting to watch. So Mike is the only one to pit that didn't take damage. I believe Clapjack may have been part of that initial chaos. The replay, there's so much going on, it's actually difficult to narrow down who all took damage here. A lot of contact among maybe 3, 4, 5 different drivers there. But it was Late Bloomer who got the short end of the stick there. So yeah, Clapjack now finds himself in P15. Curious if he also put on those hard tires, and he's going to look to marathon the race with Mike as well. In fact, he did. Matthew did as well. So we got 3 guys on hard tires. If they want to make that last all 24 remaining laps, that's going to be quite the task ahead, especially come the last 5-10 laps. Not impossible, though. And it certainly wouldn't surprise me if we have another safety car here at Silverstone, given how close that qualifying session was. A lot of these guys holding very similar pace. LK hit with a 10-second penalty. Peak Hour disqualified from session for blocking the pit lane. LK blocking the pit lane. What in the world is going on? And a 10-second penalty. Okay, something's going on here. So we have 2 disqualifications. Alright, as expected, there's some sort of bug. Okay, we'll be restarting the lobby. So, very strange turn of events. I don't think anyone was even going into the pit lane there, so I'm not quite sure where they got the disqualification for blocking the pit lane. And, of course, now ignoring the yellow flag behind the safety car. It seems every week we unveil, or, learn new bugs that never existed in prior F1 games. It's actually quite impressive. So with that being said, let me just double check here. Looks like some of the drivers have already started leaving. Certainly we are restarting once again. Well, that's going to certainly give Late Bloomer a great opportunity to get back in the race here after that start. He'll have the chance to give it another go here. Maybe keep that first corner clean. I can't say it was his fault. There's a lot of chaos going on around those first couple corners. Looks like it was 2 or 3 wide when he made contact there, or was hit. I don't know if he maybe had gone too deep on the inside a little too fast and it took out his front left tire is what it appeared to be. But one way or another, we will be back here shortly, probably 5 minutes most, I'd imagine, and we'll get this lobby back up and running.
see. Don't hide away the things you're feeling. Unlock your mind and lose the key. There's a universe inside you. You should never have to hide. I can see the stars inside you. Please just open up your eyes. There's a universe inside you. Inside you, so much more than people know. I've seen you fighting your emotion. I hope you stay and won't let go. There's a universe inside you, so much love to leave behind. Stop the path of devastation. You should live for all the highs. Inside you, why are you pushing it away? Leave behind your own deception and learn to live another day. There's a universe inside you, your galaxy of happiness. I just wanna help you find it. We'll explore in baby steps. There's a universe inside you. You've gotta give it room to breathe. So let the universe excite you, 'cause that's the way it's meant to be.
Alright, we are booting back up here for race start number 2 of the night. Hopefully the last race start we'll have to go through here. And it looks like Late Bloomer is getting the green light to hop back in the lobby here, so he will get another shot despite that first lap, those first lap shenanigans. Giving everyone a fresh start here. I'm curious to see just how these strategies now play out. I'm imagining everyone's going to stick on those same setups and probably sticking on the same soft tire to start the race. Based on what we saw during the race before, I'm also expecting to see a one-pit strategy. It looks like it's going to be soft to hard is going to be the most common that we're going to see. I think an element of that, too, is the fact Silverstone does have a notoriously long and slow pit lane. So pitting is a very, very unideal situation for anyone going in more than once. I would be surprised to see anyone go in more than once unless absolutely needed for repairs. And again, I'd expect to see everyone starting on the soft tire once again. One second, gotta get my Discord up. Just in case we have any more disconnects. Knock on wood. So as expected, looks like everyone is starting on the softs. Optimus Tea Time had started on the mediums before, so he might switch back to that once again. I don't really think that's going to make too much of a difference for that first stint. In fact, I think he'd be better off on those soft tires. So expedited setup session here. Looks like they're going to try to keep it to about 2 minutes. Everyone should already have a good idea of what they're going to be running today. And it is in fact going to be clear and sunny throughout the whole session. So no need to worry about any sort of late weather intervention. But again, I'll take a quick look, see if anyone decides to alter their strategy. Optimus Tea Time does, in fact, go back on the mediums. He might just be holding honor code here. 6Jar also throws on the medium, so I believe that is new. I don't think that was his original setup, but should be interesting. With a one-stop strategy, it really just comes down to how badly these softs are going to wear in the first 10 or 12 laps. But Mike's certainly going to be looking to get that start he had last time. Kept it very clean out of the gun there. Born Ready had a good start. Didn't quite get it done against Johnny Damon there. Went side by side there, wheel to wheel around the first corner, but wasn't able to get it done. He'll be looking to make a move here on the restart. Clapjack had fallen down quite a bit. I believe he had taken some damage to his front wing. So this is going to be a refreshing restart for him. If he can keep it clean, he'll find himself in the top 6 to start the race. Certainly not a bad place to be, and a lot of room to improve. So I believe we are readying up currently. Should be seeing the starting lights here any moment. And here we go. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and we're off for the second time tonight. And we'll see just how clean these drivers can keep it here once again at Silverstone tonight. Mike gets around the outside as he did in the first restart there, or the first start of the night. Keeps it clean. Johnny Damon holds a P2 position. Looks like we do have Clapjack making some moves, or he lost a couple spots. Almost 3 or 4 wide there. We do have a Sector 1 yellow flag. Not quite sure who was involved there. So it looks like Clapjack again falls down. I'm not quite sure if there was contact made. We saw some smoke. A little bit of damage there on the left end plate of his front wing. So it looks like he's going to keep trudging along. I'm not sure if that's going to be worth hopping into the pits for, but it is early in the race. He could throw on those hard tires as he did in the first lobby start. Agog down 8 places as well. Doesn't appear to have any damage. May have just been pushed off track there. Otherwise, though, Don Duch has fallen back about a second and a half from P6. Jazbo falls down one position into the P6 position. But it is a really long, soon-to-be DRS train here, all the way up to P1. Quick replay of the start there. Again, very nice launch out of the starting gate there from Mike. Putting up the 1:33.5 to start the lap. Captain Clapjack gets the 10-second penalty for going into the pits over the speed limit. He is going to go ahead and fix that wing. Figures might as well throw on the hard tires, I'd imagine, and get back in this race here with a fresh wing. And it looks like we have a Red Bull of Osmanian Devil going off track there. Looks like he lost the car. I'm not sure if there was contact made. He's going to fall quite far down into P15. No visible damage on the car. But that's going to hurt him a little bit there. He's going to be down 8 places from his starting grid position. Mike Gaudio falls down a place. Johnny Damon takes the lead on lap 2 here. DRS will certainly be active here shortly. And it's going to be a matter of whether Johnny can pull ahead out of that DRS zone here or not. Born Ready is keeping it close with Late Bloomer close behind. Oh, Late Bloomer loses the rear end. He's going to go on the outside of the track. It's like in Chapel there, and he's going to re-enter, but it's going to be in P11. So he's down 7 places. So Late Bloomer, Captain Clapjack, and Osmanian Devil all, including Agog, because he's probably missed Agog. Looks like he might have had an incident too, all very far down the grid from their starting position. They're going to have a lot of work. It's going to be an uphill battle going forward for these drivers. Johnny Damon is looking to extend that gap. He's still only about 0.3 ahead in first. Mike Gaudio is going to be fighting to take that position back from him, but it's going to be very close. These top 3 appear to be on very similar pace early, although there is contact. Born Ready makes a little bit of contact to the rear end of Mike Gaudio. Was there damage to Born Ready? I don't think so. It was a pretty small tap there, but that's going to give Johnny Damon a great opportunity to pull out of that DRS range. Now 0.8 ahead. Meanwhile, we have a battle brewing up here for the P6 position. There's a giant train of 6 cars, it looks like, all gunning for that P6 of Straggly Rex, who has fallen out of DRS. Now a full second and a half behind Don Duch. Don Duch is going to be right on the rear Jazbo there as well. So Don Duch having a good race start here. 5 places up. Find himself in P5, and he's going to be looking to move up even beyond that. He's pacing pretty well with Jazbo. Straggly Rex is going to have to play some defense here, though. He's going to have a very eager peak hour. AK 6 Char and LK and Late Bloomer all in that DRS zone. Straggly defends them, though. I'm not sure if he's utilizing his battery there or if he's running a lower downforce setup, but he does manage to fend them off there without the benefit of DRS. Late Bloomer makes a move on LK. Looks like he's moving up into the points once again. He's now in P10. And this train is absolutely massive. Now, hopping back into the front of the pack here, Johnny Damon still holds that P1 position. But it doesn't look like Mike or Born Ready are willing to give it up just yet. They're going to hold in that DRS range. But not enough to get the move done here on the first straightaway. Johnny Damon is driving quite well. Born Ready appears to be playing his cards very patiently. Waiting for the right opportunity. Nothing too aggressive here, but he's keeping pace, keeping that DRS range. And looking pretty good so far. Now Jazbo in the P4 position. Now 2.5 seconds down on Born Ready. Don Duch close behind, about just under a second. He's going to be looking to stick in that DRS range as well. Straggly Rex continues to fend off the pack behind him here. Otherwise, the other biggest gap that we've seen formed thus far would be with Agog, and it looks like we did have some move. Late Bloomer makes a move over 6 Char. Otherwise, we do have Optimus Tea Time now 3.6 seconds behind P11 of LK, and he has a train of Agog and Osmanian, both looking to make moves here as well. Captain Clapjack now 31 seconds behind. He is riding on those hard tires. No need to pit anymore this race, although I think the ideal scenario would be for him to see a safety car deployed in the next maybe 10 laps or so would be ideal, but one can only hope. Born Ready does find room to get around Johnny Damon, so he moves up in the P2 position. He's looking in great form tonight. Again, as I mentioned earlier, his lead has been cut down substantially from earlier this season, and a race win tonight would certainly help his cause. Looks like Johnny Damon took a little bit of a peek there on the inside, but certainly a risky corner to make that move. He's going to go ahead and stick it into P3 around Maggots and Beckett's here as we approach the second and final DRS zone of the track. Born Ready gets a great launch, and it looks like he's going to find himself in P1. Johnny Damon now fighting off Mike Gaudio on the outside, but he's going to go ahead and get it done, so he moves up into P2. Mike finds himself into P3. Meanwhile, Straggly Rex and Peak Hour are going at it as well. Straggly Rex continues to fight these guys off. So we have a Mercedes and a Red Bull in the back fighting, going wheel to wheel there. It's going to be LK who's going to take the P9 position around the final corner of lap 5 there. Real quick, I'm going to go ahead and pull up. Yeah, so again, the only actual pit stop we did have initially there was Clapjack. He was on those hard tires for 3 laps. Nothing out of the ordinary so far other than the incident early in the race. So Born Ready looking in great form tonight. Silverstone certainly treated him well. He's got a great setup, and this pack in the front here now pulling away. Jezebel 1.8 seconds behind. Still within striking distance, and going to be fighting to get back up against the rear end of Mike Gaudio, although that's going to be an uphill battle with the way these guys are driving. So we'll take a quick look here at Straggly Rex. Once again, he's going to be fighting off this Peak Hour McLaren here. Doesn't appear to get a great launch. And as expected, we're going to see Peak Hour finally take over that P6 position. Straggly Rex falls down to P7. Meanwhile, Born Ready and Mike Gaudio start to fight a little bit. It looks like Johnny Damon had made a move. Now, I'm not sure what happened here. Johnny Damon now finds himself a full second ahead of the rest of the pack. So he is now out of DRS range. I imagine he's going to try to put together a very nice lap here to maybe extend that lead out and start pulling away with this win. First substantial lead we've seen from the race leader tonight. So can Johnny Damon go 3 for 3 here in his Tier 2 debut? Although I should say, not necessarily debut, but couldn't ask for a better start thus far, and he's looking good tonight. Very well set up for this race win. If he can keep extending that lead, he's now pushed ahead another 0.2. And I'm sure in the back of his head, he's going to be hoping that Born Ready and Mike continue to fight, slow each other down a little bit to give him that extra edge. Approaching the first pit stop. I'd imagine we're looking at probably a lap 13 or 14 pit stop, maybe a tad earlier given we're starting on the softs here tonight. And the undercut will certainly be an option for some of these guys further back. We'll have to keep an eye on Johnny Damon to see just when he decides to hop in the pits relative to his counterparts in second and third. So Peak Hour has maintained that P6 position relative to Straggly Rex, who is not giving up here at all. Late bloomer now all over the rear end of Straggly Rex. We're going to keep an eye on these guys as well. Looks like while we're speaking on this, 6char moves up as well. P11 now. Agog moves past AK. AK may have had an incident there because it looks like he's falling down rapidly. No visible damage. May have lost the car there. Found himself off track for a few seconds there. Loses 3 positions. Now he's down to P14. Once again, right in front of his teammate Matthew in P15. Clapjack, on the other hand, is racing his own race here. I believe pit stops here are around 35, maybe 36 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. So he has made up a little bit of time from the back of the pack. Looks like he's 26 seconds behind. We'll keep an eye on that interval to see just where he's pacing, but certainly has some clean air ahead of him. Just has to focus on nailing all these corners and keeping those tires in check if he wants to go the full distance. Born Ready has fallen down almost 2 full seconds from Johnny Damon. So Johnny Damon, again, feeling good, looking good. And these guys continue to fight, falling down just a little bit further every lap, it seems. Born Ready's going to lose out, doesn't have the DRS advantage, bringing Mike Gaudio in the Aston Martin up into P2. Bloomer's also going to take advantage of the DRS, make his way up into P7 in the Williams above Straggly Rex. So Straggly Rex, who at one point was fighting there for the P6 position, now finds himself in P8. Fortunately for him, LK has now also fallen down about 3 seconds as well. So he doesn't have anyone to fend off, but he does have a couple cars ahead of him. He's certainly going to be looking to attack here in the coming laps. Those soft tires at this point, I'd imagine, are going to start to wear for all these drivers who started on them. It's going to be a matter of who's going to pit first and how well is this undercut going to work. Swapping onto the hard tires. I would be very surprised to see anyone hop onto a set of mediums. Not impossible, but I can't imagine that'd be optimal. Jazbo has now caught back up to the crowd in the front, though. So now he is within DRS range of Born Ready. So 2 of the top 3 leaders here are going to be fighting it out against the 2, I wouldn't say rookies, but the 2 newest drivers, the newest additions to the Tier 2 grid. And these guys are going to be looking to make a statement here. Born Ready certainly wants that race win, but that's falling just ever so slightly out of his grasp. Every lap is now, Johnny Damon is 2.5 seconds ahead on the same soft tires they started on as well. So we have some wheel-to-wheel action there. Born Ready takes the inside, and Mike Gaudio goes ahead and hops into the pits early. So it's lap 9, going on lap 10, and he's going to go ahead and hop right in there. Again, very, very slow pit lane and very long pit lane. So we're going to probably see Mike Gaudio fall down. Probably, I'd imagine, maybe P10 or maybe even further down the pack. He will likely have traffic to handle. But if he can put a really nice lap together, this could work as a pretty nice undercut against Johnny Damon, Born Ready, and Jazbo. So there you have it. Mike Gaudio is going to go ahead and wrap up his pit stop, and he's already fallen down to P13. Johnny Damon now looking straight down the barrel of a 3-second interval. He is looking very good tonight. Consistently lapping about maybe 2 or 3 tenths faster a lap, if not a bit more. Jazbo has certainly fired up these tires. He's looking good. Come around Cop's corner here. Again, will he get the exit out of Maggots and Beckett's to get the move done into the second DRS zone? We shall see. Only holding about 3 tenths behind Born Ready. I would be surprised if he doesn't take the move, which he does. Takes the inside, but he's going to go ahead and get it done pretty cleanly there. Gets back on the racing line. And Jazbo now finds himself in P2. Johnny Damon, Jazbo, and Born Ready all remain out on track. They are not going into the pits. I'm not sure. I don't think Mike Gaudio had any damage. So he certainly pitted earlier than the rest. I'm not sure if he wasn't feeling those tires. Maybe they weren't agreeing with him. He could tell he was losing some track time there and wanted to switch things up, but he certainly pitted much earlier than I would have expected. Straggly Rex back into P7, so he makes his way past Osmanian Devil. He's 4 seconds ahead now, but he's looking straight down the barrel of Late Bloomer, only about 7 tenths behind. Late Bloomer's going to go ahead and defend the inside line, but it looks like there's going to be plenty of track between the two. He'll be able to go ahead and continue his race without defending Straggly just yet. Born Ready was hit with the time penalty. I didn't quite catch what that was. I'd imagine it's a track limit penalty, so we'll take a quick look. Yeah, it looks like it's a track limit penalty. 3 seconds. That could certainly hurt him at the pace they're going. Jazbo goes wide. I'm sure that was a warning for him. Tea Time gets a 3-second penalty as well. So the 3-second penalties are starting to come out. Certainly not surprising for Silverstone to see the penalties come out, but they're coming pretty early here, only on lap 11. These drivers will want to keep it clean, keep it in the lines to avoid any additional penalties that could severely hinder their final position. We do have what appears to be a late bloomer, or no, was it Damon? Who was that? I thought that was a Williams. So someone else hopped in the pits there. Looks like it was a Racing Bull. So it's Don Duch who hops into the pits. He'll be putting on a set of hard tires, I'd imagine. And it looks like, actually, he's putting on a set of mediums. So I'm not sure if he's going to go for the 2-pit strategy or if he's comfortable enough to go ahead and finish the race on the mediums here. 14 laps to go. Pretty long track, pretty high degradation. We'll see how that plays out for him. But he's going to take the more aggressive approach here and hop onto those medium tires. Born Ready's going to go wheel-to-wheel with Jazbo. Again, holding that 3-second penalty, but Jazbo certainly has at least one track limit warning. And I'd imagine Born Ready just got another one. Damon now 4 seconds ahead. We do have some gaps forming throughout the field. Born Ready being the closest one to making a move here other than Mike Gaudio back in P13. Again, he's on those fresh tires. He's going to be looking to move his way up. The traffic will not be doing him any favors, though, as he has quite a lot of drivers ahead. It's Born Ready and Jazbo fighting for that position into the pit lane. Oh, Born Ready really wanted to get through there. Couldn't quite squeeze it. So Born Ready's going to go ahead and sit behind Jazbo through the pit lane. So assuming no mistakes by the pit crew here, that's likely where they're going to be released back onto track. Traffic could also play a part here. We have a whole slew of cars coming in for their pit stop. Peak Hour stays out. I believe, was Peak Hour one of the few that started on mediums? Yes, he did. So the two that start on mediums, which is Peak Hour and 6char, I'm going to go ahead and take track position. P1, P2. Johnny Damon comes out. He's going to retain the lead with those mediums. Optimus Tea Time finds himself in P4. He is yet to pit. Following Jazbo, Born Ready again, the same order we saw them enter the pits in. And then Mike Gaudio, though, who had pitted earlier, 3 laps ago, put on the hards. I thought maybe there's a chance he could go for some sort of... he could go for some sort of... I'm sorry, I'm blanking here. An undercut, excuse me. I don't know where my vocabulary went there. But it certainly didn't work. He finds himself now P7. He's got... I was going to say he had Matthew in front of him. He's going to get that move done here in short order. And then another 5-second gap to Born Ready. So the undercut didn't work. Now he finds himself on older tires. Granted, they are hard tires, but older tires where he's going to have a hard time keeping pace with these fresh mediums. Not sure that strategy is going to work out too well for him. So the 2 mediums we have up front, I'd imagine, are going to at least go maybe 1 more lap, maybe 2, give or take, before they throw on us to the softs. They'll have the more aggressive compound to finish the race. But with that long, really drawn-out pit stop at Silverstone, that's going to throw them back, I'd imagine, at least another 10 places. And they'll have some work to do on the second stint of the race. Matthew hops in. Matthew on a set of hards. Now 13 laps through those hards. Likely also be putting on a set of mediums. Meanwhile, Clapjack, who had pitted early in the race on those hard tires, 12 laps deep. Will he go the distance on these? I'm not sure. Now, he has made his way up to P13. He's moving back into the field. Not necessarily on his own island as he was before. He does have some drivers ahead of him to attack. But he's riding quite old tires here. 12 lap old hards. If he finishes this race, He'll be looking at 24-lap-old hard tires at Silverstone. Not impossible. But certainly a monumental task ahead for him. Johnny Damon is already creeping up on the rear end of Sixchar, who also has not pitted. Piekauer, the other medium runner, does go in and pit. He's going to be thrown on, I'd imagine, a set of softs. Sixchar elects to stay out, though, it would appear. So Sixchar is going to be one of the last guys out on the original tire. I'd be absolutely shocked if he doesn't go in after this lap here. Maybe he's just staying out hoping for a safety car, but I don't think he's going to be in luck. Everyone appears to be pretty separated here, minus, of course, Born Ready and Jazbo fighting it out. But Jazbo holds him off. Born Ready taking a look at the inside line, but just doesn't quite have the speed to get it done. Gets a great exit there. And he's going to be looking to make a move. Peaks to the inside, not quite enough speed to get it done, so he's going to have to wait at least another few corners here to have the opportunity. We do have a yellow flag. Looks like Don Duch and Mike Gaudio might have gotten into a little bit of a scuffle there. So Mike falls down a little bit. Agog makes a nice move around Don Duch, but Don Duch, is he going to hold it in the Haas on the inside? He takes a different racing line, but he gets a good exit. He's going to be able to go ahead and hold that position in P11. Born Ready not giving up here. He's going to keep going for this move. At this point, it would seem that Jazbo's on that lower downforce setup. He's going to have a nice little advantage there, even against that DRS. He doesn't seem to be having any trouble fending off Born Ready. Sixchar, on the way to the pits, gets hit with a 10-second penalty, so that's going to certainly hurt him. So Sixchar, as I mentioned, last guy to head to the pits. He's going to go ahead and throw on a set of softs, but he now has a 10-second penalty to handle. That's a lot of uphill work for him. And as he's going to be exiting these pits here, he's going to lose at least another 2 or 3 more positions. So for him, it's going to be a battle to get back in the points. He's going to come out of the pits here in P10. So he is still in the points, and he's on that fresh set of softs, but he does have the 10-second penalty. That's going to really hurt him here if he's looking for points tonight. Born Ready, on the other hand, still looking to fight for this podium, and even with the penalty he's holding, he does have an 8-second lead on Piekauer. Keep an eye here. Piekauer, again, on the softs. On paper here, should be catching up for these next 4 or 5 laps at the minimum. So we'll see if that 8.5-second gap there changes too dramatically here in the next few laps. But he's going to have to bring it in within 3 seconds if he wants a chance at that podium. But not out of the picture here. He's on the fresh softs. He's just going to have to make these next few laps very quick. Late bloomer there makes a move around Straggly Rex, moves into P5, and he's going to be looking to catch back up to Piekauer as well. Slightly more used medium tires there. Born Ready goes to the 130.0, so very quick lap from Born Ready there. But he doesn't find his way around Jazbo. That time is certainly going to be influenced by the DRS that he had on both of those DRS zones. Just not quite enough to get it done. He's all over that rear diffuser. And he appears to get a great exit here. Will he get it done? Again, takes a look at the inside. Just the DRS doesn't seem to be enough for him, so he's going to have to get a little creative here if his setup is not giving him the top speed he needs to make the move past Jazbo. At this point, Damon is now 4.3 seconds ahead. Very comfortable lead for him. He's just going to ride this out as per usual, as normal. No need to get too crazy here. His race pace is certainly fine. And he's just now under 10 laps to go. So Johnny Damon may just go 3 for 3 here in the past 3 weeks. Excellent performance thus far. Knock on wood, don't want to see anything go wrong here other than maybe a safety car, would bunch this pack up and open the race up again for a different race winner. But Damon looking great. Mike Gaudio, on the other hand, starting P1, now finds himself into P14. He did hit the pit lane once again, so he's on softs. 12 seconds behind Matthew, who's another 13 seconds behind Agog. They are well out of the points. I think the only hope for them at this point may just be that safety car scenario. Peak hour does go 129 on the soft, so he has fired those up, and he's looking good. 8.1 seconds now behind Born Ready. Like I mentioned before, he's at 8.5. So he's cut the lead down a little bit. He's just now under 8 seconds, but he's got a long ways to go. If he can keep that pace up, though, he does have a chance at the podium. Born Ready with the 3-second penalty. If he can keep up under the 130, he was in the 129s earlier. Only driver on track so far to get in the 129s. He has a great shot, and that safety car scenario just might come true for the drivers who needed it. Looks like Matthew may have taken a spill. I'm not sure where. He is out of the race. But just a caution, it looks like that may have been off track. Unless he had deliberately, it looks like actually he may have deliberately DNF'd there. Looks like he is in the pit lane, so no safety car. Just, looks like he just DNF'd a little bit too far behind in this stage of the race. Doesn't quite feel he has the chance to get back into the points here. Meanwhile, Born Ready did get by Jazbo, so Born Ready into the P2 position before any penalties are applied. Jazbo's going to hold tight behind him. Peak hour now down to 7.2, so his pace is looking good as well. Straggling on the 6-lap-old mediums, right behind Late Bloomer, who had pitted just behind him. And these two are going to continue to fight again on to lap 19. So Matthew 10 is now out of the session. I hope that doesn't cause any sort of desync issues. We've seen that in Tier 1. So I'm hoping we don't see the same curse with this lobby. Seeing someone leave. It looks like Stragley's going to go ahead and try to make an outside move. Doesn't quite get it done, but with a good launch here, he has gone a little bit wheel to wheel there. Not quite enough. These two will continue to fight, neither of which have any penalties to their names, so this is going to be, it's going to boil down to their track position here. Good battle between the two. While we watch this unfold here, take another quick look at the position changes. So, peak hour with the late, or no, it wasn't peak hour, excuse me, it was, or maybe it was peak hour. Was he the one who pitted very late? I think he may have been. Either way, he's looking good. He's 5 places up. Still trying to eat into that gap to Jazbo, though it looks like he's basically plateaued on these soft tires. They might start to finally be wearing on him. 7 seconds now down from Jazbo. Born Ready has taken the P2 position so far. We do have another yellow flag come out. Looks like that might have just been, maybe there's just a little bit of contact there coming around the final corner. We'll keep an eye here. So peak hour again, looks like he may have plateaued. He's losing a little bit of time to Jazbo. I'm sure he'll still be very happy with a P4. Now meanwhile, Stragley does get the move done. Takes the inside line there. And he's going to try to defend it here through Cop's corner. Will he get it done, though? This could be a very risky spot for Late Bloomer to go for the move. Going to go wheel to wheel, and he's actually going to go ahead and get it done. Stragley thought he had it there, but just not quite enough. Late Bloomer gets the good exit there out of the inside line and takes back the P5 position. Born Ready and Jazbo continue to battle it out. Jazbo now taking the P2 position back. And they are once again bumper to bumper. Just a quick replay here. You will see Stragley Rex looks like he made the move again. He made it on the inside there. Late Bloomer, though, takes a little bit tighter of an apex there, and he's going to go ahead and get the launch to get that move done once again. Another battle brewing up, but it would appear to be Captain Clapjack within DRS range of Agog. Clapjack does have a penalty to contend with, though, and of course he is down 6 places from his start, so he's just looking to get some points here tonight. Not the best showing from Clapjack thus far, certainly out of character based on his results so far this season. And Mike Gaudio, who's really not had an ideal night either. Down 12 positions, 22 seconds down. He had to take an extra pit stop. I'm not sure if he was just looking to get on a fresh set of tires, if he had damage. But that's going to really hurt his chances at points tonight. Born Ready sitting in P3, again with the penalty, will remain in P3. And he's one of the few drivers, only other one would be Osmanian Devil, who actually hasn't moved at all based on their grid order. Jazzbo, on the other hand, having a great race for himself, now P2. Up 3 positions, no penalties to his name, so as it stands, he should pretty easily be able to take home this P2. But all the while, Jazzbo has narrowed the lead down to 3.5 seconds. I know Johnny Damon was sitting at around 4 seconds for the last maybe 6-7 laps or so. Jazzbo has cut into that lead a little bit, so I wouldn't say it's likely, but it's certainly not impossible that Jazzbo could find himself back in the fight for P1. Johnny Damon certainly not asleep at the wheel. I'm sure he's been keeping an eye on those intervals. And we'll be looking to get home with this one with a little bit of space here to keep things comfortable. Johnny Damon's just seen nothing but open track all night. Outside of the very beginning of the race, there was a battle there brewing for P1, but once he got ahead, he did not look back. He is now eyeballing that 3rd win in a row.
Hello.
We'll take a quick look here at the, let's see here, the telemetry data. So it looks like Born Ready now at 92% battery, so he's been charging for quite some time. Again, contending with this penalty, though, it's going to be really difficult for him to make moves, even with the battery charge he has currently. Jazzbo, on the other hand, sitting at 30%, has been fending him off quite well. So at this point, all Born Ready can do is really just hope for the additional penalty to make this a race down to track position. Straggly now, again, up 7 places. Great race for him in the Ferrari. He's going to be now 3/10 behind Late Bloomer. He's looking to make the move. Just doesn't seem to have quite enough, or excuse me, he has a little bit too much downforce on his setup. It's Don Duch, who's hit with a 10-second time penalty for corner cutting. I'm not quite sure what happened there. Looks like he may have lost the car there. He's just completely off the track. Doing a little bit of a burnout there, and I don't think he'll be joining the track again. It looks like he's going to go ahead and DNF. That is a tough way to end the night here on lap 23. Don Duch out for the night. AI will go ahead and park it on the side of the track. Hopefully this doesn't bring up any safety cars. Oh, and Johnny Damon's hit with a 3-second penalty. So Born Ready, Jazzbo, and Damon now all with penalties. Late here in the race, this is going to be down to track position. So things are really interesting now. So Jazzbo, who is sitting comfortably in the P2 position, factoring in Born Ready's penalty, now is going to have to fight for track position. Johnny Damon as well. If Jazzbo hadn't given up that penalty, he'd be looking right down to a P1 finish here tonight. Born Ready now 3 seconds, just under 3 seconds behind the race leader Johnny Damon. So things are certainly going to be interesting. Peak hour, those softs definitely are starting to give up on him here. Now 8.5 seconds behind the P3 position. His chances of a podium are dwindling fast. Stradley continues to find himself fighting behind Late Bloomer. I think those setups are just a little bit too different here. I think the Late Bloomer has the advantage on the straights, and there's not too much Stradley can do about it. He's going to go ahead and let loose on that battery on lap 24 here, but it's just not going to be enough. So Jasbo gets the move done on the inside, so he does take the track position here on lap 24. Born Ready is going to be looking to fight back here shortly. Takes a look at the outside line, but not quite enough space to get it done. Comparing the battery between the two, Born Ready and Jasbo, both at about 47% battery, so they're both going to be pretty equal on track here in terms of pace. This is going to be the race to watch here on these remaining laps.
Hello?
Pat, is that you?
Yes.
Get out of the commentator's box. I'm busy.
I wasn't sure what the hell was going on.
Get out of here. I'll talk to you in like 10 minutes. So anyhow, we're on to lap 25 here. Born Ready is going to be fighting back for this position. He has now charged up a good fair amount of battery here at 73%. Jasbo doing the same, up to 55. This is going to be a battle to watch, though. Straggly Rex also eagerly trying to get by Late Bloomer. He's going to be running a bit lower on his battery. Late Bloomer is going to let the hot lap go at 60%, so he's going to look to likely finish this race under hot lap. And this will also be a track position battle here. Neither of them holding any penalties. I believe both of them are sitting on at least one, maybe two warnings, so they're going to have to keep it clean. Born Ready takes a look on the outside here, but he's not going to quite get it done. Clapjack goes a 1:28.9. That's going to be the fastest lap of the night, so very nice lap there. Into the 1:28s late in the race. Johnny Damon comes across the lap, or the penultimate lap, excuse me. He's now going to take the final corners here, 2.5 seconds ahead. He does still sit on that 3-second penalty, so the lead has fallen quite a bit, but he's got plenty of track space here to get it done. It just comes down to Born Ready and his exit here, which looks to be excellent. Will he get the move done? He's not quite letting the battery rip just yet, so he's going to wait. Let's see here. He's waiting on this battery. He's going to go ahead and sit on 70% here. Jasbo sits at 38. And this last Magnuson Beckett's here is going to be absolutely crucial. If he can get the launch to make it over, make it past Jasbo here for the P2 position, it's going to help his cause in the Drivers' Championship. Johnny Damon, meanwhile, now 2.8 seconds ahead, almost 3 seconds ahead. Oh, man, it looks like we had some contact there. I'm not quite sure what happened. Oh, no! And Jasbo into the wall. So Born Ready had went for the move, and there was contact made. I'm not sure if anyone was at fault there. Jasbo into the wall. Looks like he may have taken a small amount of damage there. He should still comfortably finish, or excuse me, maybe not. He's now going to actually lose his podium position with the penalty. Now, peak hour only 1.5 seconds behind Jasbo, so that is brutal for Jasbo. Falls out of range of that podium. Late Bloomer across the line in 5th. Straggly Rex in 6th. Osmanian Devil's going to come around into P7. So get some nice points on the board there. So Straggly Rex did not get the move done past Late Bloomer. Still puts up a nice race there. 6 Char across the line in P8, but he loses the position with his penalty to his teammate Agog. So the Haas boys back to back there, 8th and 9th. LK comes across the line with the final points of the night. Yeah, real quick, I just missed it when I switched over to Johnny Damon. I didn't expect there to be contact on the straight there. But it appeared that Born Ready had gone on the inside line there. and somehow, some way, had made contact with Jazbo, sending him off track. It's actually a miracle he didn't DNF there. He hit the wall pretty hard. So that'll certainly be something for the stewards to review. I can't quite tell if it was anyone here was at fault, but when it comes to a straight here, someone must be at fault. There really is no excuse for contact there. But it was Born Ready who was going for the overtake, so I'm not sure if there was just some late movement there from Jazbo defending that may have caused that. But I'm sure we'll see some replays of their onboards. So Jazbo just falls out of that podium position. Still not a half bad race, putting up points in P4, but I'm certain that he was looking to get some more points here tonight. So there you have it. Final standings here. Clapton Clapjack does get the fastest lap, but he is not in the top 10, so it's not going to count for anything for him. Johnny Damon does take home his third race win in a row. So he's going to be moving up into, if I'm taking a look at the standings here, he'll be looking to move up into P4, I believe, as Jazbo will retain his P3 position. Born Ready will again add points to his lead, but it is being cut down by Johnny Damon just ever so slightly. And Clapjack will be likely falling down behind Jazbo now after that that performance here at Silverstone. So we'll have the updated rankings here for next week. As per usual, I will check to see what our calendar's calling for here. So Hungary is actually going to be round 10. Excellent track to drive. Ultimately a very hard track to overtake on, though. So that will be interesting to watch. Qualifying is going to be a major factor at Hungary. But that would be next up for August 15th, next Thursday, same time. I believe I'll still be here the week after that. I will be out of commission, so may not have a stream depending on if my co-commentator can make it that night. But as per usual, it's been fun, guys. I will see you next week, and good racing to our podium finishers.